The dump dive that is the WNBA. Alright, this is Sports Guy talking right here that you are listening to. I'm Dustin Tran, your host, and I'm going to be here to talk about WNBA ratings. I'm going to explain to you guys why they flat out suck. Look, the ratings have been dreadful as always, and it seems like it will not get better anytime soon. The WNBA could possibly cease to exist. Before I say anything else though, I want to present you guys with a topic question. So, here it is. Why do WNBA ratings suck? And I think that there's a million reasons why they suck, quite frankly. But let's start off with some facts about the WNBA. So right now, they're currently in the off-season. Their season, they start in mid-May, and the season ends in mid-September. Now look, who are their competitors? What sport leagues are they competing with? Well, they're competing with the NBA playoffs, and they're competing with NFL preseason and MLB for the most part. This is the leagues that the WNBA are mainly competing with. To put things into perspective, let's talk about WNBA ratings. So WNBA ratings, they get 379k viewers per game. That is for the 2022 WNBA season. That is not good at all. If you are getting 379,000 views per game, basically, as a sports league, that is not a good business whatsoever. To put things into perspective, the racist league, and I say that with quotation marks, the racist league that is the NFL, they get 16.7 million viewers per game. That was just this past season, and that was supposedly because it declined. However, when you look at the WNBA, they're always crying about how the NFL is racist, how everything is racist, how everything is sexist, how the world is always unfair, and they always talk about the blame me, cry me, victimhood mentality. That's what they're really all about, which is the reason why I think a lot of fans do not find WNBA players relatable. That's the thing though with these sport leagues. When you market a sports league, you have to have players that are flat out relatable. You have to have people that are relatable, and that's what the WNBA lacks. In the NFL, you've got Patrick Mahomes. In the NBA, you've got LeBron James, Steph Curry as the faces of the leagues. Okay, so when you look at it from that perspective, who does the WNBA have that's a marketable star? Brittney Griner? I know more about Brittney Griner for her Russia detainment rather than knowing what she actually did. I hope I'm using the correct pronoun on the basketball court, and I say that because they are very focused with their pronouns. So when you look at it from that perspective, the WNBA, they don't do a good job relating to their fans. And quite frankly, the way that they market is not very good either, because when you look at the way that they market to the dump dive fans that watch the WNBA, most WNBA people are women, or at least I would assume naturally born women. However, when you look at the WNBA, how many fans of the WNBA are women? Yeah, I thought so. Not very much at all. When you look at it from that perspective, the WNBA is not good at all. It's not a good product. Look, the league play, it started in 1997. Right now, there's 12 teams in the WNBA. Now, apparently, the Las Vegas Aces apparently were the world champs in the WNBA this past season. And what I'm trying to say is, look, it's existed for 26 years. They're about to enter their 27th season that is coming up come May. And when you look at some business stats that concern the WNBA, look, they're getting $60 million in revenue, but they're averaging less than 7,000 fans in attendance for games. They're playing on NBA arenas that are about 18,000 fans in fan capacity. So that means they're not even filling up half of the seats. That is bad business. That is a bad investment whatsoever. And honestly, if the NBA wasn't funding the WNBA money, they would cease to exist because they keep losing money every single year. When you look at the WNBA, they've lost about $10 million on average per season. According to Adam Silver, the woke commissioner for the NBA, he declared that the WNBA actually lost $12 million last year. And the WNBA Player Association, they're asking for clarity, so they're not even clear where they're at. They have a pay problem, and I've heard some people talk about gender equality should mean equal pay, but quite frankly, if you're not even bringing in the amount of money that's even acceptable compared to the NBA, and by the way, the NBA has problems with their own ratings too. When you have that kind of problem, how can they expect to pay the players equally? There's not enough money to go around with that. Look, the NBA, they're averaging over 1 million viewers, which is really bad considering that they're supposed to be a really popular league. But the WNBA can't even get 400,000 viewers. So the NBA is making 4 times more than what the WNBA is making in terms of viewership. And the WNBA, they're constantly crying for gender pay equality. Quite frankly, it's not really much of an argument. It's not a men versus women thing. It's just about the fact that the NBA brings in significant revenue compared to the WNBA. And another problem that I think the WNBA has, they're always claiming sexism, if not racism. Oh, look at me, look at me, look at the victimhood that is there. Oh, look at me. I was offended because you said that I was not a man, that I couldn't play basketball like a man. They don't say it quite like that, but it's basically like that. And quite frankly, another problem that the WNBA has, they have a lot of anti-Americans in there. A lot of players in the WNBA, when they do open their mouths, it's always to trash the flag. It's always to trash about racism. It's always to trash about sexism. It's always cry victimhood and whatever you could say that basically stands for wokeism in the mainstream media. So when you look at it from that perspective, it's not very beneficial. Look, I got a lot of criticisms involving the WNBA. Look, we know more about the WNBA for their off-court antics rather than what's going on for them on the court. I couldn't really tell you one thing that's going on the court for the WNBA. I couldn't tell you who won MVP without looking it up. I couldn't even really tell you who won the championship without looking it up on Google because quite frankly, it's not relevant on a national level. But what I could tell you about the WNBA is that they take knees for the anthem, they disrespect the flag, they talk about socialism, they talk about activism a lot, they talk about how America's the most unfair system, they always talk about how Donald Trump is racist and how this Joe Biden, Kamala Harris pairing is just so great for this country. And I'm pretty sure a lot of people in this country are not going to agree with that. Now look, when you think of the WNBA, you think of Brittney Griner, not for the right reasons. She got herself locked up in Russia because she smoked some weed, or they caught her with some weed possession, something like that. And I understand that that may have seemed harsh at the time, and I do think it is harsh to lock up someone for multiple years because of that. Now they ended up getting her out, but quite frankly, freedoms in the US are just different from other countries. It's much better here in the US than any other country. There's a reason why the United States is the greatest country in the world. You think about all of these immigrants that come to the US pleading for freedom, and then you got people like Brittney Griner that are always complaining, always being ungrateful about how the USA, they're always racist, they're always sexist, oh, they're against people that are part of the groups. When I say part of the groups, I'm talking about LGBTQ, whatever the letters are. I'm sorry if I just offended anyone. Actually, I shouldn't be, but I'm saying this just in case there's a wokester that's actually watching this video. Brittney Griner being the face of the league is like saying Deshaun Watson is the face of the NFL and Miles Bridges being the face of the NBA and Trevor Bauer being the face of the MLB. What I just did right there was compare the troublemakers that Brittney Griner just created for herself to the troublemakers in the NFL. When you think about Deshaun Watson, you think about the 24 allegations against him potentially, but the NFL doesn't make him the face of the league. If it did, a lot of people would not watch the product. And you think about Miles Bridges, who's not even playing in the NBA right now. He committed domestic violence on a woman. That would be ridiculous as well to happen. Trevor Bauer, he got himself suspended 2 years because of a domestic violence incident. So what I'm saying is we know more about Brittney Griner for her off the court actions rather than on the court actions. And look, they don't really have a marketable team and they don't have marketable stars. The only player I really know in the WNBA is Brittney Griner, and that's not because of what she's doing on the court. I know her more because of what she's doing off the court. Now look, what are the ultimate reasons? It's bad profits. WNBA players, they're entirely unrelatable, and they cry more about off-court actions rather than what actually happens. Now look, the quality of basketball is just not interesting, and there's no marketable stars whatsoever. And like I said, Brittney Griner, she's more notable for her detainment in Russia, more so than her actual play on the basketball court. And honestly, the WNBA should cease to exist if the NBA wasn't constantly funding money for them. If I was the commissioner for the NBA, I would have just cut off business with the WNBA because it's just losing money in my case, and it's honestly a bad investment. Now look, investing more in the WNBA has far more risk than benefits, so that is why WNBA ratings suck, as quite frankly, they should cease to exist. Remember, go ahead and subscribe to Sports Guy Talking, like the video, and please comment down below. If you guys do that, I may shout you guys out in my Instagram story every Monday. That'll be for the @DustinTran Instagram account. Make sure to follow me on Instagram @DustinTran and @SportsGuy Also, go follow me on Twitter @DustinTran. Again, go ahead and do those things that I just told you guys to go do. Hopefully, you guys enjoyed the content that was just produced. Peace out. I hope you enjoyed that video. Want more Sports Guy Talking, the home of great sports content? Make sure you click that subscribe button to get the latest from Sports Guy Talking. Go ahead and like the video, comment down below, check the description box on the video in order to follow my Instagram and Twitter. Also, be sure to check out more of the best clips from the YouTube channel Sports Guy Talking.